Alright, in this video we're going to talk about engine control. That is located in the Web App Control tab. And engine control is set, you can set it in the Web App or in the front panel. And it tells the controller what to do at the end of the cook, basically. And this talks about there's 3 ways to cook with the Pro controller. Hot dog easy, basically turn the controller on, or the grill on. Set the temp, hit start, and the grill will stay at that temp forever. Basically like the original controller, right? You just turn it on, dial in a temp, hit start, there you go. We call that hot dog easy around here. If you're just cooking hot dogs, you don't want to mess with the web app or any of that other stuff. The second way is cook by time, where you enter target temps and times in 1 or 4 profiles without the hold checked. Notice it's got the without hold checked in bold type right here. And the grill will start from profile 1, go to profile 4, following the temps and time set. And when it gets to the end of profile 4, it's done. All right, it'll just stop. And then the last way to cook with the Pro controller is, well, it says it's the same as cook by time, except hold is checked in the last profile you intend to use. Okay, so when the meat reaches the target probe temp, the cook is done, the controller will shut off. Okay, so how do we enable this cook by probe? Because these right here, all done through the profiles. It has nothing to do with it. Well, it has almost nothing to do with the engine control, but we'll get to it. But first, let's start with enable cook by probe. Cook by probe uses the meat probes to measure the temperature of the meat and compare that rating to a set temperature, in this case 145. Tells you how to get there. So we'll scroll down here, engine control. You just, oh, here we go. To enable cook by probe, mark the checkbox. Okay, check. Use the drop down to select which probe number you want to use for cook by probe. That's what this is right here. We'll select probe 2. And then you can manually enter a custom temperature. So let's say we're cooking some beef. The recommended doneness, for safety is 145 degrees. But let's say, we don't really want our meat cooked that much, or we want to let it sit for a little bit. So you can type it 135. Okay, and you can see it automatically changes it to custom because it's no longer set by one of these defaults. It's a custom temperature, and that's kind of what it's talking about here in the manual. It says the predefined selections are beef, veal, lamb, ground meats, and pork. Ground meats being hamburger, and these are all the safe minimum cooking temperatures by U.S. Department of Health. Okay, and see foodsafety.gov for more info. It says press submit. It's actually press enter save. I need to update this in manual. And that's how you enable cook by probe. And then it's got a note here, graphing the meat probe. Only the selected meat probe is graphed. So if you're using the graph, it's only going to graph probe 2. One of the things it doesn't say in here, but you should know, that you can change this anytime. You can change it to probe 1 or probe 3. Just whenever you change it, just make sure to hit enter save. It saves your changes, okay? But yeah, you can do this on the fly during a cook. It won't hurt anything. And you can even disable it. It won't matter if you don't want to use it anymore. And so that's what this graphing is talking about. Oops. Okay, so this last little bit down here, this little section right here is basically what you want the barbecue to do when it's done cooking. So if cook by probe says, okay, well, let's hit 135, I'm done. What are you going to do? So if cook by probe says, okay, it's hit 135, I'm done, it's you can either have it turn off when done or smoke when done. And smoke when done is like a keep warm mode. And I think that's what it says right here, about 150 degrees, press submit. That's not right. It's actually enter save. It also mentions, though, so let's say we're not using cook by probe, and we're doing cook by time. Cook by time, so it's going to, let's say if this was unchecked, and so we're using cook by time, so it's going to do this for 30 minutes, this for 40 minutes, this for 90 minutes, and then it's done, right? It's going to shut off. it'll come down here and it'll look, okay, what do I need to do? Do I need to turn off when I'm done? Or do I need to just sit there and keep the food warm when I'm done? So if you're doing cook by time or cook by probe, basically you're telling the barbecue what to do when it turns off, when it determines a cook's done, either using cook by probe or cook by time. Okay? I hope that makes sense. And then whenever you make any changes to this stuff, I'm going to change it back to what it was. Let's go ahead and leave that enabled. And we're going to hit enter save. Okay? And that is the ending control. Don't forget, you can support the Muxall Open IoT channel by donation using a credit card and PayPal, or by purchasing products at the Muxall store.